Good week for oil on the end, wasn't it?
Oh, it was good. It was good. And yeah, let's have a look at oil because, hey, it's been an interesting, I just need to pull that over. Interesting week. So we had a really big move up, and I can tell you right there, after the break of the weekly pivot there on the 4-hourly chart, we had a retracement, we had a recheck. But what actually happened right there, Paul, was there was a terrorist threat. And there was a terrorist threat in Minsk, and that was when the Belarus government sent a jet fighter to accompany a civilian plane back down into their airspace and make it land in Minsk. There was then a further terrorist threat. It was pretty ugly. It was a journalist who was quite a bit of a dissident, and you know, there was a political story happening there. But and this goes to show how sensitive oil is to any kind of bombing threat. And as soon as there is that threat happening on the waves, bang, oil just takes off. And she did, and it happened really, really quickly. And if you weren't listening or you weren't in tune, there was no point in trying to jump that. It was just a fundamental news release, potential bombing, potential terrorist risk in Minsk. There could be, and the thing is with terrorist risk, when they say it's a terrorist risk, it just goes to who's behind it, how far is it, how planned is it, all the rest of it. So all of a sudden oil takes off. It always does when there's bombing risk. And then everything calmed down, and the rest of the week basically was very, very quiet, as it just sort of like, oh, okay, there's nothing happening, and it just went sideways. Then we had a big move up towards the end of the week. And why did we have a bigger move up? There was a court case. Dutch Shell Oil were told to cut their carbon emissions. Exxon have been told to cut their carbon emissions. These are court-ordered instructions to companies to cut their carbon emissions, which will impact their supply of very major oil-producing companies. It is going to have an impact on supply. Supply reduction, demand is still going. That's why we had that boost up. We had a pullback by Saturday morning, and I'm saying Saturday morning, it's Saturday morning my time, close of New York, last couple of hours of New York session before it took down and came back up again. But that's where it's at the moment. It's just quite volatile. Those court decisions really impacted oil as far as price went after a week of consolidation. And it again just shows it's not just supply and demand as far as, we always used to trade the jolly oil inventories on a Thursday morning at 1:30 in the morning. And it just isn't the same. It's anything and everything is impacting oil. It's so sensitive, really, really sensitive. So we saw the IEA impact oil last week with nuclear deals and Iran and all the rest of it. And there was huge moves. And then we've had the complete reversal this week. So just hang in there, guys. Where it's going to keep going, will it go up to 70 this week? Don't know. Depends what bombing or whatever, or the threat of. But that's where we're at the moment. We're looking okay. We're looking still. I think it's still going to roll upwards, especially with those. I think there's more to the devil's going to be in the detail with those court deals and the instructions to a lot of the major oil producers as to how much they're going to have to curb to meet those restrictions. So it was a first. I don't think it will be a last. I think it's going to have an impact with Dutch Shell Oil. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds. I think it's going to actually push it up until we see the bigger transition across into the green energy, which is, we all know is a few more years off, but let's see how that goes.
Cheers, Ainslie. Thank you very much for that. So oil at the moment reasonably volatile, and we are looking perhaps with a bit of a bullish bias.